everyone, it's Miss Natalie, and today for Time Travels, we are going to be talking about Amelia Earhart. So we'll discuss how she became such an important woman in aviation history, and we'll talk about maybe what happened to her, and then we'll end up doing a little craft. So let's go ahead and jump on in. So who was Amelia Earhart? Well, she was a very famous pilot in the 1920s and 30s. She first rode in an airplane in the early 1920s, and after that decided she wanted to start taking flying lessons. And she would make her first flight in 1921. Later, Amelia would go on to fly across the Atlantic Ocean as a passenger. So she didn't fly the plane herself, she was just in the plane, but she did this to promote women in aviation. So aviation is just another word to kind of describe like flying or piloting planes. And she did this to promote women in aviation. So at the time, a lot of pilots were men. There weren't that many women who were flying planes. So she wanted to get the idea out there that more women could become pilots if they wanted to. Amelia Earhart would go on to take part in air races. She would even help found an organization of women pilots. And she became a role model for women in general because of all the stuff she was doing. She would become the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean. And she would become the first person to fly alone from Hawaii to California. In 1937, Amelia and Fred Noonan, her navigator, so a navigator is just someone who helps you stay on course so you don't get lost, took off on an around the world flight. So they were going to fly all the way around the world. And a month into their flight, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, Amelia Earhart, Fred Noonan, and the plane would all go missing. So what happened to Amelia Earhart? Well, no one is 100% sure. Some people think that the plane maybe had some trouble and crashed in the Pacific Ocean and was just never found, even though people went looking for them. Some people think Amelia might have been a spy and was maybe captured by Japan. So maybe she landed on an island that was controlled by Japan and they thought she was a spy. Some people think that Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan became stranded on a deserted island and were just never found. Regardless of what happened to Amelia Earhart, she still made way in a field that was typically dominated by men at the time, and it inspired a lot of women, and she's still well known for all of this today. So let's go ahead and talk about our craft for today. It's going to be a little plane, and what you're going to need is some popsicle sticks, a clothespin, some glue, and whatever you want to decorate with. So I didn't paint my plane, but if you want to paint your plane, you can go ahead and paint your clothespin and popsicle sticks first and let them dry. But if you don't want to use paint, that's okay. You can always use markers or stickers or whatever you've got at home to decorate your plane however you like. But once you've done that, what you'll need to do is you'll need to take your clothespin and you'll need to glue 2 popsicle sticks on the top and bottom of it to make the wings for your plane. And then if you're really careful, you could maybe break a popsicle stick or use a smaller one, but you'll want to glue that on the back of your clothespin to kind of make like a tail for your plane. And once you've done that, you've got a little plane. Where I got my idea for this craft will be in the description of the video in case you need more of an idea on how to make this, okay? All right, well, I hope you liked learning a little bit about Amelia Earhart today. I'm just going to take this last minute to tell you about Inspire. That's where I got all of my photos from today in this video. Inspire is an online database that you can find at myjclibrary.org under resources. All right, thanks, guys.